least 10 people have been killed in a shooting in a supermarket in New York. The suspected shooter is reported to have posted white supremacist material online before live streaming the attack.
I seen a guy in a full army suit just shooting shots at people.
Russian troops retreat from Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, but there's still no way out for the defenders of Mariupol. Liverpool leave it to the last minute to keep their quadruple hopes alive, and Ukraine sings for peace at Eurovision, whilst the UK hopes for more than 0 points.
This is ITV News with Romilly Weeks.
Good evening, and we begin with some breaking news tonight. Police say at least 10 people have died in a mass shooting in Buffalo, New York. The suspect is thought to have posted white supremacist views online before live streaming the shootings on the internet. Details are still coming in, so let's cross to our correspondent Robert Moore in Washington. Robert, what is the latest?
Well, this was a deeply disturbing incident in the city of Buffalo in upstate New York. We're still waiting a police press conference, but there are credible reports that at least 10 people have been shot dead at point-blank range. A further 3 were wounded. This occurred inside a supermarket just to the north of the city centre. The gunman has surrendered. He appears to have posted this atrocity live on a video live streaming service called Twitch. It's also believed that he posted a extremist, white supremacist, anti-Semitic manifesto online as well. The suspect was in full camouflage gear, was wearing a helmet and carrying a rifle. Because it was a supermarket and there were many eyewitnesses, this is what one of those eyewitnesses had to say about what he confronted and saw that moment.
I seen a guy in a full army suit just shooting shots at people, and I seen a security guard running the store, and then I seen the guy go in army style, bent over, just shooting at people, and I heard him shooting at people, and then I saw 3 people laying down, and I didn't have a phone on me, so I was just screaming for somebody to call the police.
Well, a police officer at the scene also described it as like a horror movie. He called it Armageddon, and simply overwhelming as he tried to confront the gunman.
Robert, thank you for that. Ukraine says the battle for the country's second largest city is over. Military analysts agree that Russian forces have been driven out of Kharkiv, with reports of some retreating back across the Russian border.
Хорошо. It's good. I'm happy that we're pushing the invaders back to their territory. Of course, it would be better if this was over already. I'd like to go back home to see my family who are still under occupation.
But it's looking ever more desperate for the last remaining Ukrainian defenders in Mariupol. Our correspondent Rachel Younger is in Kyiv.
If there is a glimmer of hope, it is vanishingly small, given that there are 1,000 fighters still trapped there, hundreds of them believed to be seriously injured. So we understand that while negotiations are ongoing between the two sides, being brokered by Turkey, the Ukrainian government is telling us that the Russians will only consider involving 60 of the most seriously injured fighters in that evacuation. No wonder then that the wives and girlfriends of some of those fighters who've carried out the most impassioned, impressive campaign to try and win international attention for their plight have held a press conference here today in Kyiv, in which they appealed to the Chinese leader Xi Jinping to try and put pressure on Vladimir Putin. And I think if that seems like the very longest of shots, that underlines just how desperate the situation is now becoming.
Here, restrictions on the sales of junk food designed to tackle childhood obesity are being delayed by a year. The Department of Health says plans to ban multi-buy deals on food with high fat, salt or sugar content and pre-watershed TV advertising are on hold because of the cost of living crisis. Well, our political correspondent David Wood joins us now. David, another U-turn?
Well, officially, no, Romilly. These plans are simply on pause, but I'm told tonight they are under review, and that is so often government code for cancelled altogether. These bans were due to come in October, and as you say, focusing specifically on the most unhealthy of foods and drinks, high in fat, high in sugar, high in salt. Ministers are saying tonight that they're still committed to encouraging the nation to become healthier, and that pausing the bans for a year is to allow time to understand their impacts on the rising cost of living. Not so, though, say health campaigners. They say normally buy one, get one free offers are actually on premium products, and therefore it encourages people to spend more.
Well, this decision is showing that the government is prepared to put industry profits and politics over children's health. It's rowing back on a promise it made to make it easier for everyone to be healthier, and it's certainly blowing away any chance that we've got of halving childhood obesity by 2030.
There is still one ban that will come into force, and that is to ensure that these products are not in high prominence places in shops like at checkouts and at the ends of aisles. But I think certainly politics has been a central part in this decision. There's been, I'm told, dissent at cabinet level, a Tory source telling me that these are un-Tory policies and place a huge burden on supermarkets, which isn't necessary. But officially, as we've been saying, the TV advert bans and the buy one, get one free bans are delayed for a year. If they come in, that would be just months before the next election. Another reason campaigners say they're unlikely to ever come into force.
David, thank you. In other news, police in India have arrested 2 business owners after a fire killed at least 27 people in an office building in Delhi. Officials say the building wasn't fitted with fire safety equipment. The suspects have been charged with culpable homicide. And tonight, Britney Spears has told her 41 million Instagram followers that she's lost her baby. The singer was expecting a child with her fiancé Sam Ashghari. She said the couple have lost their miracle baby early in the pregnancy. To sport now, and Liverpool's pursuit of the quadruple is still alive. Jurgen Klopp's team beat Chelsea at Wembley to win the FA Cup for the first time in 16 years. Just like the League Cup final between the same 2 teams, there were no goals again, but lots of drama in another penalty shootout. Chris Scudder was watching.
The 150th anniversary of the world's oldest cup competition, so old that Liverpool weren't even formed until 20 years after the very first final. Generation after generation, they've grown up on success. This was step 2 of a possible quadruple that's never been done before. If the future king was in full flow, the team from the King's Road were anxiously hanging on after a right royal scramble.
And Chelsea just about survived.
But for the second Wembley final this season between these two, no goals.
That was mightily close.
Both sides got closer and closer.
And he rattles the crossbar.
But the ball just would not go in.
They've hit the post again. What a chance for Liverpool.
After 2 goalless hours, it went to penalties, and Chelsea captain Azpilicueta missed.
And he has.
This from Sadio Mane to win the cup for Liverpool.
It's saved!
More drama. Then England's Mason Mount under pressure, missing at the same end as his countrymen at the Euros. And it was down to Kostas Tsimikas to clinch it for Liverpool.
It's Kostas Tsimikas to win the FA Cup for Liverpool.
We're getting used to this. 2 cups out of 2, and 1/2 of that unprecedented quadruple has been delivered. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
And finally, for many, it might seem poetic or musical justice if Ukraine won tonight's Eurovision Song Contest. A short time ago, President Zelensky wished them well, but could the UK entry spoil the party? TikTok star Sam Ryder is also being tipped as a possible winner, despite the UK often receiving 0 points in the recent past. Chloe Keedy has been watching.
Britain has been cautiously hoping that Sam Ryder will sing better than this. As fans touched down in Turin today, there was an unfamiliar sense of optimism about Britain's chances.
For the first time, you can feel how much everybody else loves our song, and I've never felt that in the other 9 contests that I've been to.
And how do you rate our chances?
We're going to win, of course we are.
But the real favourite tonight is Ukraine. The Kalush Orchestra, named after a Ukrainian city, came with a fusion of folk and hip-hop and a plea to the world.
Help us all stand right now!
Last year's winners know how much Eurovision can change lives. Maneskin have gone on to global success, and tonight they'll be back on the stage that made them famous.
We got less pressure now.
1 year ago it was impossible to think about it, and now we do it on a daily basis.
This year's competition theme is the sound of beauty. This is how Norway chose to interpret that. Spain went for glitter and glamour, while Finland resurrected 90s rock sensation the Rasmus. Britain's Sam Ryder has a lot riding on him. The former construction worker turned TikTok star is second favourite to win. But as voting gets underway tonight, Ryder knows that if he gets any points at all, we'll be doing better than last year. Chloe Keedy, ITV News.
And our correspondent Hannah Miller is there. Hannah, there's huge excitement in the UK tonight. There too?
Yeah, we've had to come outside, Romilly, because it is absolutely heaving in there. This is the pub in Turin where British Eurovision fans have come to watch tonight's performances. Lots of excitement on the streets. The people, that is, who couldn't get tickets to be inside the arena. No surprise to anybody, they went absolutely wild when Sam Ryder came on the stage to sing Spaceman. Flags waving, chants of Sam, Sam, Sam. This is a very partisan crowd. There have, though, been other favourites throughout the night. There are people in there who know all the lyrics to all of the songs going. They are the die-hard Eurovision fans, and of course they all want their own country to win. Does it really matter if you're having a great time?
Thank you, Hannah. Sounds like a whole lot of fun. And that is it. The weather forecast is next. But from all of us here on the Weekend News team, thanks for watching and good night.